Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is John Palomino. I'm a writer, actor, director, producer. Man, I do everything, bro. I edit, I do everything. My first film, Man of the House, which I wrote and directed, and produced, and even acted in, which is about my father's suicide. I play my father in the film, and that film has been all over the country. I've had the opportunity to work with therapists and advocates, mental health advocates to be precise. Organizations like the National Alliance of Mental Illness, the Mental Health Association. I've been able to work with colleges and schools and have some screenings at some schools. I actually have a screening coming up and panel discussion coming up next Friday, February 22nd, over at SCAD Atlanta, with the Black Student Association. So, film has, helped me so much. It helped me grow. It helped me mature. It helped me realize who I am and where I, want to go as a man, as a writer. I'm grateful for it. I was in college really just trying to figure out life, and I ended up taking an acting class as an elective. And from there, I'm just like, man, why am I not doing this? I was already like this really shy, kind of in the box, not really too social. But when I took this class and realized, man, first of all, it's fun, I enjoy it. And at the same time, it'll help me, I guess, break out of this shell, out of this box that I am, because the exercises that we were doing in the classes, and really just how fun it was, and becoming a character, a person. I just really appreciated that. And I was going through some difficult times during this period in my life, and acting helped me open up and express myself. And I started writing from there. Really, that's when it started. I was, submitting to like different independent projects, even like student films, just to try to get involved and get the experience. But as we all know, as actors, it's extremely difficult to break into the industry. So I figured, why not? Let me start writing and producing my own stuff. And I had been holding on to this one particular story, my father's suicide, for most of my life, for all my life. No one outside of my family knew that my father died by suicide. Certain friends didn't know. It just wasn't something that we talked about as a family, and I just wasn't vocal about it at all. So I figured, you know what? Let me write this film. And then I heard that like writing is therapeutic for a lot of people, and I'm like, okay. Acting has helped me kind of break out of the shell. I'm a little more social now with people. Let me start writing. Let me write down my thoughts. Let me write down, how I felt during this time, and hopefully one day be strong enough to put it in an art form and make it a film and to really tell the story. So after years of maturing, I was finally ready, and I, took the time to write, and found out what was really going on with my father, because that was another thing too that I was battling. No one in my family spoke about my father's suicide. He was pretty much like a stranger to me. I didn't know who he was. I mean, I knew who he was. I was old enough to understand that he wasn't, coming back ever again. But that was all I knew. I didn't know what he was going through during that time. I didn't know anything until I started writing this film. And that's when I finally got all my answers. And again, I thought this was somebody I knew. But now, 20-something years later, I'm finally, in a sense, realizing, or finally knowing who this man was and what he was going through and how difficult his life was during this time. And unfortunately, he took his life. But writing helped with this whole situation. I want to say acting as my father in this film, for once, made me realize what he could have possibly been going through, which I'll probably never understand, but I know certain scenes that we had to reenact. If you haven't seen my film, there's a scene where I'm, as my father, talking to my younger self. And when I wrote this particular scene, I knew what I wanted myself to bring out, as far as emotion and where I wanted to go with it. But it wasn't until I actually sat down in that seat and for the first time, like, really felt what he could have been going through, the pain he could have been experiencing when he was telling me goodbye for the last time. And even like the relationships he had with my mom and other family members, certain times that it was their last time talking to him as well. And because I was able to write this and make a film about it, I made this happen. And now we're working with, other advocates, other mental health advocates, other, therapists, to really help people that are going through this same experience today. And I'm grateful for it. And it was all because I decided to start writing. And writing is just so powerful. And for, the people out there that have a story, which everyone in this world has a story. And it's mostly us black folks. We got a story to tell. Tell those stories. Don't be afraid. Don't hold it in. Put it out there for the world to see. It's going to help somebody. And that's why we're on this earth. That's why God put us on this earth, to help other people. And I love it. I love having these screenings. I love going to schools. I love talking to little kids that unfortunately lost a parent too. We could relate. I love sharing my experiences with them to help them and give them the strength. I've met a lot of people on this journey, and it all came from my decision to finally write it and make it into a film. So I'm grateful for it. Right now, I'm actually in post for a few projects. As a filmmaker, as a writer, I am like really passionate about those stories, again, that help people. Any film that creates a conversation, I'm going to fully support. And as a filmmaker, that's what I want to do is, provide content that'll start a conversation, that'll hopefully change the narrative behind whatever social issue is going on at the time. So I have a film that I'm working on. It's in post-production. It's actually called Suicidal Homicide. And it's about a depressed man who is, I don't want to give too much away about it. He's shot by a cop, and they happen to find a suicide letter in the car, and in his own car. And it's one of those films where, I wanted to create a conversation, but mental health and police brutality are like hot topics right now in the media. And I wanted to create a film that kind of battles those two social issues. We got mental health and depressed men, and police brutality. And I just wanted to show how policemen can abuse their power, but then if the man is depressed and they find a suicide letter in his car, well, was this supposed to happen? Did he purposely want to die by the cop, or was it the cop abusing his power? So it was like that type of film that I kind of want to, I just wanted to bring attention to that. Mental health and both police brutality. To speak on Man of the House, I also got a series coming out as well that I'm in post-production for. And it pretty much explores the Man of the House narrative. So it shows what other black households, what other black families, how they use the term man of the house. For me, it was my father's suicide and his mental health. But, there's domestic abuse, there's single mother, there's, a few different issues that I touch in this particular series. It's a short series. Each episode will be about five minutes long, and it's seven episodes. And I have a documentary, which is about my experiences in Colombia. My father's from Colombia, and I went to Colombia and I met my father's family for the first time. And I just wanted to, just kind of talk about family. Again, a conversation that I think a lot of people would like to have. A lot of people don't know their family or don't have the best relationship with their family. And I think this type of documentary will hopefully inspire you if you don't know your family or don't have the best relationship with your family members. This will bring you guys together. So it's just another, I feel, something that's important. Family is very important to me, and I just thought it was important for me to go meet my father's family, especially after, releasing a film like Man of the House, which is about my father. And that's really why I didn't meet my father's family, was because, he died by suicide right before I turned 6 years old. And I just thought it was important for me to go out there and finally meet them and fully, embrace the Colombian culture. My mom is black. I was raised around my whole black family. So if you ask me what I am, I'm black, hands down. But my father is Colombian, and I just thought it was important for me to go out there and meet them. And I've been doing a whole lot of writing. Once I get these projects out the way, I have some comedy stuff, because I do have a comedy background. And then some action stuff. I've done like a little bit of action and fight choreography over the years, but I got some stuff that I want to, make happen as well. So I want to do some more action stuff. So everything I'm writing, I'll be acting in as well. So be inspired. I get inspired from my peers. Go to screenings, go to movies, go to networking events. Anything that will keep you inspired, I think, is most important, because that's really what's going to fuel your passion and your drive to want to be successful. I found myself a lot of times just going to the movies by myself. I was just at a screening event last week just to see what other content is out there. That's really just my way of like staying inspired, is again going to other events, talking to other filmmakers. It's really cool if you and a few other filmmakers can meet up and just go over ideas. That also helps me just stay inspired and just motivated and hungry. And just don't give up. Everyone gets discouraged. I get discouraged all the time. I get writer's block sometimes. I have like such a dope idea, but I can't put anything down on paper. That happens all the time. And just know as well that it's not going to happen overnight. You may sit on an idea for a couple weeks, a couple months. When I sat on Man of the House for a couple years, like I knew this was something I wanted to do. I had the idea. I just wasn't in the mental space to do it. So don't think it's going to happen overnight, because it's not. If you have to sit on an idea, at least start writing, put it down on paper, whatever it is that you want to do, and make it happen. But just stay focused and stay motivated. Stay around other people that are just as motivated as you, or even more, to keep you on your toes. I think it's important that, I guess, the people that you hang around, or the people that you're with, they're doing something positive and at least working towards their goals as well, because that's going to drive you to, pursue your goals and your dreams as well.